Okay, everyone, this is part two of a two-part video. Part one, I went over if you are using another device, say your phone or iPad, to play your music and your speaker. In this section, we are not using a separate playing device. I will be playing the music from my computer and showing you how to share from the computer. So in this case, I will not need my iPad. Instead, I'm plugging in my speaker directly into the aux jack in my computer. So plugging that in here. Now in this case, you'll need your music loaded up within your computer. So whether that's on iTunes or Groove Music, whatever music player that you have on your computer. In my case, I'm using Groove Music. Now the first part for this to work is Zoom amplifies any sound that comes from your computer when you're sharing. So the first step is to make sure you have your volume on your media player between 5 to 10%. You'll have to test that, but 5 to 10 is kind of the max where you want to be in order for your participants to be able to hear you and hear the music as well. Now another tip that you might want to look into is if you're using this option on microphone settings, audio settings, you can also manually adjust your microphone set volume. So if you want to increase that to the max and uncheck automatically adjust volume, that way it will prevent Zoom from bringing it way down here when you want to make sure that your participants can hear you. Okay, so I've set my volume on my media player at 5 to 10%, whether it's iTunes, Windows Media Player, Groove Music, whatever is on your computer, 10%. Now you can leave your actual computer volume at 100. It's the volume in the app that you want to make sure is around 10%. Also, since this is at 10%, only 10% will be playing from your speaker. So that's why I use an external speaker to make sure I crank it all the way up and I can hear it on my end. All right, so we've got that setup done. Now on Zoom, what you're gonna do is hit share screen, but instead of sharing screen, you'll see two buttons at the top. You'll hit advanced, music or computer sound only, and click share. So now everything that is playing out of your computer, basically everything that you hear out of the speaker, will be playing into Zoom. So if I hit play here, you'll hear my music in my speaker, but also at the top, it says you are sharing computer sound. So your participants are hearing anything that you're hearing out of your speaker, and you also have your microphone set on. Now, when you're testing, I am right up to the computer. So let's say that I had somebody else helping me test on the other end, and they're saying, yeah, your volume sounds great, and the balance between your voice and the speaker is perfect. It sounds great, but then when I step a few feet back to start teaching, suddenly you can't hear me. So when you're testing, step back to where you will be teaching from and ask the other person if then they can hear you. If they can't hear you loud enough and you've already cranked up your microphone volume all the way to the max here, you'll have to bring your app volume settings down to maybe a 5%. Now everyone else on their end can crank up their own speakers and they'll hear you fine. The biggest thing is to make sure that the balance between the music and your microphone voice sounds good from where you're teaching from.